Hello friends, good morning and greetings of the day. This is JB Kabra. I shall be taking you through the journey of what we call as assertiveness. The title of my today's discussion is Assert and Succeed. All of us, we want to succeed in life without exception. There are several factors which are required to be successful in our life. But one amongst the most important factors that we require to succeed is probably ability to assert. Now, most of us, although we know what assertiveness is, probably when it comes to understand the difference between assertion, aggression and submission, get confused. We really fail to understand where we have crossed the limit of assertiveness and entered into aggressiveness. This beautiful difference I shall be telling you through a beautiful story. There was a village and there lived one cobra. Now my name is Kabra. The fellow was Cobra. Now, as you are all aware, the cobra has a basic temperamental faculty of biting anyone and everyone. So people would be scared of cobra. They would run helter and skelter. And the cobra killed almost 100 people. Then out of feeling of repentance and guilt, he went to one Sadhu and he told Sadhu, "Sir, I am a very sinful person. I have killed so many innocent persons, more than 100 plus. Today I am full of feeling of guilt and repentance. So please, for heaven's sake, please guide me, instruct me, coach me. How do I overcome this feeling of guilt and repentance?" So Sadhu asked him a counter question. "Are you sure you want to come out of the feeling of the guilt and repentance?" He said, "Yes, sir." Then very simple technique. From tomorrow, stop biting. The cobra bowed to Sadhu and he said, "Sir, your order are gospel truth for me. I shall be following them judiciously." And the cobra comes back. Now earlier the cobra was always in a position to bite. Now what has happened? The cobra has coiled himself, putting his head down. Now people have become anxious. People don't know whether the cobra is alive or cobra is dead. And out of anxiety they want to test what has happened to cobra. So one small boy, he decides to pick a stone and throw at him. He does so. The cobra is badly hurt. It raises its head, but immediately remembers the advice of Sadhu, again puts his head down. Now what happens to the courage of the boy? The courage of the boy even improves further. He takes a bigger stone and hits the cobra. Now the cobra is bleeding profusely. You know what happens still? Out of the instructions, cobra doesn't react. Now this boy's strength goes further up. He goes inside the house, brings a big danda, and with that big stick starts poking cobra. Now the cobra realizes that if it waits there even for a minute, probably it will be the last day of his life. So somehow manages to escape, goes to Sadhu and said, "Sir, what you have done, look. Now earlier people were damn scared of me. Today even that small boy of 10, 12 years is about to kill me. I know how I have saved my life and I have come back." And the Sadhu tells, "Mr. Cobra, you are bloody grade 1 idiot. I had only prevented you from biting, and I had never prevented you from hissing. The cobra gets the message, goes back with head up in self-esteem. The same boy is waiting there. Let the cobra come back. I'll hit him with a final assault and finish him off. As the boy raises the stick, cobra puts his head up. The boy on one side, the stick on the other side. So ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, if you are biting the people and hurting them, you are aggressive. If you are allowing the people to hurt you and walk over you, you are submissive or passive. But if you are putting your fangs up in self-esteem and hissing, but at the same time not hurting others, you are assertive. I think this story tells the fundamental difference between three behaviors we demonstrate. Now let me tell you, my dear friends, none of the behavior is useless. Depending on the situation, sometimes you have to become aggressive. Sometimes you have to become submissive or passive. And most of the time, you have to be assertive. Why we lose the bus is a very simple reason. Because what we do, we become aggressive when we have to be assertive. We become assertive when we have to be submissive. And therefore, there are situations, let me explain you. Suppose, for example, you have been fighting, and as a part of army, you have been sent to fight the enemy. And there you take a mic in the hand and make an emotional appeal to the people, your enemy. Probably you will be killed. You have to follow the basic principle of you have to shoot before you are shot. You have to be aggressive. And suppose, for example, you know that you are on a slippery wicket. The situation is not very conducive for you. In English, they say, if you are on the slippery wicket, don't make, a lot of trouble for yourself. Simply fly away from there. Let's imagine there are some riots going on. There's no purpose will be served by giving an emotional appeal. The best method is run away from the scene. So, maybe 2 to 3% of the time you have to be submissive. Maybe 2 to 3% of the time you have to be aggressive. But maybe 90 to 95% of the time you have to be assertive. Now the question comes is, what assertiveness is all about? Very simple, let me explain you. The definition of the word assertiveness as it goes, it is ability to be in perfect harmony with your self-esteem without hurting others. And the most important words in this definition are, you can underline them, they are without hurting others. If in any way your expression, your body language, your eye contact, your tone, your gesture is likely to hurt others, please remember, my dear friends, you are no more assertive. You have slipped into aggressive mode without even realizing it. Now the question that comes to me is, why assertiveness is so important in the life? What happens if I am not assertive? Let me tell you, if you are not assertive, you will suffer from various mental traumas. You will suffer from depression because you always get into self-pity mode. The thing which you wanted to express, you are now unable to express. And you feel so sad, oh my God, the words came right up to here, but I could not speak because I did not get a courage to speak my feeling on what I feel like. So, it might, if suppose you remain submissive and passive for a very long time, let me tell you, it will act as a spring action, and a day will come when there will be a resentment that will come into your life. There will be frustration. You will say, I'm good for nothing. There will be, you will be losing temper. You will be raising your tone. Your body language will change all of a sudden. You will lead a life which is full of anxiety, don't know what's likely to happen. And all this will affect the relationship with your spouse, with your children, with your colleagues, with your society at large. And therefore, it is extremely important that we follow the principle of assert and succeed. Now, most of the time, people still get confused. They feel that if I'm assertive enough, I'll get what I want. Answer is no. Because please remember, if I can become assertive, the person with whom I am dealing will also likely to be assertive. And when two assertive persons interact with each other, it is impossible that you will have your own way all the times. So it's not possible. It's not possible. And what will happen is, therefore, please remember, it's not the guaranteed way that you will always get what you want. The only difference is there are greater chances of getting what you wanted. Again, it is not true that the feeling which you are carrying, you will be 100% able to transmit to the other person. No. But now, the only good part of being assertive is you feel good, happy and satisfied that I could speak whatever my inner heart said. And that feeling of happiness by behaving assertively helps you to come up in the life. Let me give you a couple of examples. You see, what happens is, again, the feeling of assertiveness or aggression or the submission comes from the way we have been treated in the family right from our childhood. Let's imagine you had a total atmosphere of military. Your father was in military, your grandfather was in military, your grandfather was in British Royal Army. Now, how is the atmosphere at home? The moment father comes, he will say, "Sadhu!" And this fellow will be in the same situation what children play as statue. If, on the other hand, if you had a very open atmosphere at home, you and your father were possibly interacting with each other as a good friends. You and your mother were interacting with each other as a good friends. There is a chance that you might become assertive. Again, let me tell you what will affect is whether you are a boy or a girl will also affect whether you will become assertive or aggressive. Let me tell you, the boys are always told that you have to be aggressive, and the girls are told you have to be submissive. Is it not a dichotomy and misnomer that we teach them differently? Why can't we teach both the gender, whether it is a boy or a girl, to be assertive? Because if you want to be assertive, you need to spend a little more time. And because you don't have that kind of a time, what you do is, generally you get into the easy mode, either becoming aggressive or becoming submissive, which is not required. Let me give a couple of examples to illustrate my point. Let's say you board a BST bus and the distance you are traveling is hardly about 4 or 5 kilometers and the ticket cost is maybe say 18-20 rupees, and you take out 500 rupee note. Now the conductor will look at you like this and he will pull the bell and ask you to get out, as if he is telling you, idiot, you don't feel ashamed? For 18 rupees ticket you are taking out 500 rupee note? If I am predominantly submissive, I will get down and curse myself. If I am predominantly aggressive, what I am likely to say? I will start fighting with him there only. You may win also, but would you feel good? Don't you think your day is spoiled thereafter? And therefore, the question comes, if I want to communicate assertively, how do I communicate? You can tell him, sir, I know I should not have been taking out 500 rupee note for 18 rupee ticket, but believe me, I don't have change. And anyway, I am getting down at the last bus stop. By then I'm sure you will get enough change. If not, at the last point where the bus gets terminated, I'll buy something, get a change for myself, and I'll pay you. In the meantime, you can just write at the back of the ticket that this much money you owe it to me. Keep the note with you. 90% of the time there is a chance the fellow will say TK. And I can tell you with reasonable certainty, before your stop comes, your change will be in your hand. Is it not a classic example? Let's take another example. Let's say there is some big movie which has been, hype has been created about that movie, and you are anxious to see the first day first show along with your friends. There is a big queue at the ticket window. There is an electronic display showing as the number of tickets gets dilapidated. I mean, the tickets are sold and hardly any tickets are left. The number is being shown, and you are about to reach the window. Some hefty fellow comes, pushes you down out of the queue, goes in the front and say, "Hey, 5 tickets." And the booking clerk gives him 5 tickets and the indicator shows 0, which means that booking is stopped. Now what happens? Don't you think it is a very frustrating experience? What you are likely to do? 2 things. 1, you will realize that fellow is a dada. You will realize that fellow is a hefty, probably double your weight, double your height. You will start fighting with that fellow. And that fellow, owing to the power which he possesses, physical power, he will pull you with the shirt and throw you. Now who is hurt in the melee? It is you. Because you unnecessarily took the aggressive route. Suppose you realize that there is no useful purpose will be served fighting with that fellow because might is right. You will go beyond 40 feet. And from there, you will do bad. In this country, there is no, respect for the rules, regulations. All of us, we were waiting, and anybody comes and pushes me. So that fellow who pushed you is unable to listen. What useful purpose will be served? This is submissive behavior. But if you were predominantly assertive, what you are likely to do? You are likely to turn around and you will say, "Look, excuse me, gentlemen." Use the word "excuse me, gentlemen," because we have come up in the British style. All of us, we have been waiting for our turn for last half an hour. Please join the queue. Is there any guarantee that the fellow will join the queue? Answer is probably not. But at least it is certain he will not pick up a fight with you. And you will feel happy. At least I could speak out what my heart felt about. Suppose you were aggressive. You were able to get the ticket, but you won't be able to enjoy the movie because you were going for a happier moment, and before start of the movie, your mood has gone because of you took unnecessary quarrel with that gentleman. And therefore there is a greater likelihood of getting what you want. And mind you, when you make a beginning, the others in the queue will join you. They will say, "Yes, what this gentleman is saying, all right, please go back." Now maybe with you, the fellow could have taken an aggressive stand, but he immediately realizes that if all these people, they come together, probably I will not be able to take on them. And therefore he will say, "Tika." So the point, ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to make, my dear friends, I am trying to make is there is a greater chance, greater likelihood of getting what you want. Secondly, your blood pressure will not go up. Thirdly, your stress level will not go up. Your voice will not go up. Your tension will not go up. And relationship are maintained. The same thing happens in the family. When the other person is angry, he says something, probably at that particular time, no useful purpose will be served, either by getting into aggressive mode or by getting into assertive mode. Maybe you will have to allow some time to pass through. And once that appropriate time comes, you can tell the person who misbehaved with you, raised his voice, excuse me, that particular time when you did this to me, I felt very sad. I am sure there were better methods of communicating the same message to me. Now whatever has happened, but next time please remember, and please don't do anything which will hurt my feeling. Now don't you think the fellow is likely to say, oh, I'm sorry, that particular time I was not in a proper frame of mind and therefore something must have happened out of default. That's what you wanted, no? You basically wanted the result, and you are likely to get the result by being assertive. Second example I would like to, the second tip which I would like to give you if you want to become assertive is avoid using two words, always and never. If suppose I use a word, you are always late, you are always like this, you always insult me. Because please remember, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, if you use the word always, it is 100 out of 100. It is impossible. Sometimes he might not have hurt you. Sometimes he might not have raised his voice. So what he or she will do? They will go through the back record and they will say, how can you say that I'm always like this? On so and so occasion, I did not do anything which hurt. Now what happens? You have to keep quiet. But if you tell him, gentlemen, I see you are otherwise a thorough gentleman. Your behavior with the people is extremely good and laudable. But I don't know why. This time, I feel you raised your voice beyond requirement. Next time, I am sure probably this situation can be handled in different way. Now, don't you think there is a chance that the fellow will say? So, generally avoid these two words, always and never. Second, importantly, never use. Of course, I have used the word never here, but avoid using the word you. Say, when you did this to me, I felt sorry. I felt being not important. I felt hurt. My feelings were affected beyond repair. Because please remember, I may not have control on his feelings, but I certainly have control on my feeling. And what wrong if I express my feeling? That's very important. Third example I would like to quote. Please remember, we should develop the habit of saying no to unreasonable demand of others. Let me illustrate this with a beautiful example. Let's say you have bought a new car and your friend comes and he says, hey, I am taking your car because I need to go for a movie with my family and my car is down. And you are predominantly submissive. But you will say, okay. Now he goes happily, merrily. And you feel so sad. I don't know how people behave. As if I have bought the car not for my use, but I have bought the car for their use. Submissive behavior. If you are aggressive, what you will say? You idiot, you should feel ashamed. I have never bought this car for your use. It has been brought for my use. Don't you think before you say? But if you tell, look gentlemen, if there was a medical emergency, I would have driven the car for myself. But please, don't misunderstand me. But this car I have bought for my purpose. So don't make me ashamed by denying. And when you say that with a certainty, probably the people will accept. And therefore what you need to do, you need to develop this quality. Remember, this quality will not come in a day. You will have to be remembering your tone, your gesture, your facial expression, the way you are sitting. If the generally aggressive person, what he does, he bangs his hand on the table. Submissive person, he will always look down. Only assertive person can have an eye contact. So learn to develop. And my suggestion, honest suggestion to all of you would be, please try in non-threatening manner first. Maybe with your friends, maybe with your family, and later on extend it to the other people with whom you are interacting. Those who are working can deal with the boss, with the other departmental colleagues, with the owners. But the point is that the day you start making it in threatening manner, probably the people will misunderstand you. And please remember, if you want to maintain relationship, there is no better way than becoming assertive in the life. Now I am sure all of us, we have met this kind of personalities in our life. I have met few personalities. Some people are highly assertive, some people are highly aggressive, and some people are predominantly submissive. So what you need to do? You need to change your behavioral style depending on the situation. So remember, gentlemen, aggressiveness is likely to breed aggressiveness or submissiveness, whereas assertiveness will breed assertiveness. And when people are assertive enough, new ideas come. They maintain respect for each other. I maintain respect for others, the others maintain respect for me. And therefore the atmosphere at home, in your institution, in your organization, in your association, with your friends is very, very healthy. And all of us, we enjoy the life. And therefore, my honest appeal to all of you would be assert and succeed. Thank you very much.